Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own Poppin Cooking style kit from scratch. A few weeks ago I did a Poppin Cooking video and had lots of requests for a mini version that you can make yourself that actually tastes good and so that you know exactly what's going into those powders. So I've been doing some experimenting and designing and it's finally ready, and I'll show you how to make the cake first using the kit, and then I'll show you how to make the kit and the powders themselves. So in your kit, when you open it up, you'll have all of this cool looking stuff. We've got a mini piping bag, a measuring cup, 3 cupcake cases, some decorations, 3 different powders. We've got a fondant mix, a chocolate icing mix and a cake mix there, a 1/4 teaspoon measure, a couple of sheets of baking paper, and of course the instructions so you know what to do. The instructions say to add 6 scoops of water to the cake mix, and so just add those in, making sure each of your scoops are full to the top. Then stir it together. Try and make sure you don't have too much cake mix on the side. Try and get it all down the bottom, and then place that in the microwave on medium heat for 1 minute. Then take that out and leave it in its case just to cool. Add the fondant mix to a new case and add just 1 scoop of water. Mix it around and it looks like nothing's happening, but that's fine. Don't add any more water to it. Microwave it on high for 15 seconds and then stir it really well. Tip it out onto some baking paper, and it's going to be warm, but you want to knead it until it's smooth, and you want to use it straight away because once it's cold it will set firm. Roll out a snake and cut 5 even lengths for 5 candles. Give them a roll to roll them at the top where you've just cut them so they're rounded, and then look in your decorations and find one of those darker coloured sprinkles and poke 1 into the top of your candle. And repeat that with each of your candles and then leave those to go firm. Take the leftover fondant and roll it into a ball. Cut it into 2 and then roll each half into a ball and flatten it out using the palm of your hand to make it the same size as the cupcake case. By now your cake should be cool. Just expand the edges of that case and then tip the cake out over onto some baking paper. Make 2 cuts through the cake to make 3 layers of cake, and then stack them back up again, going cake, fondant, and cake on top. Now using your hands, just gently roll the cake between your hands to smooth off the sides there so that you get a nice neatly shaped cake. This is just making that fondant and the cake straight on both sides. Place that on top of the measuring cup. And now for our chocolate frosting. Pour the powder into the last case and then add 1, 2, 3, 4 scoops of water, and then stir that around until it clumps together and looks a bit like wet sand. Microwave that on high for 10 seconds and then stir it to get rid of any lumps. You'll need to just push the back of the spoon down to make sure all of that powder and everything is all mixed in neatly. Pour that frosting over your mini cake and use your spoon to make sure it covers all of the sides. Now place the leftover frosting into a piping bag and pipe a pattern around the top edge. And I'm just doing loops down and up and around and down. Once you've done that, if you've got a mini plate, you can transfer the cake onto that. If not, just put it onto a clean sheet of baking paper. Pipe some more frosting around the base of the cake to make it look neat. Then add your decorations to the top. Now you can do that randomly or you can do it in a pattern. Just use your imagination, it's your cake. Then add the candles that you made to the top of the cake. And you really can eat the whole cake without feeling guilty. You could probably eat the whole cake in one mouthful, let's face it. And once you've finished eating all the cake, you can eat the candles too. Now to show you how to make the actual kit. Let's start with the cake mix. To make enough cake for 10 kits, you'll need plain all-purpose flour, sugar, baking powder, dark chocolate, cocoa powder and powdered whole egg, and I just bought this in a container at the supermarket. I'll list all of the recipe quantities for this on my website howtocookthat.net in grams and ounces and cups and everything that you need, and I'll add a link to that in the description just below. Place all of that into a blender and put it on pulse, and pulse it for a few seconds and then put it on to blend just to make sure that all of that chocolate is broken down into a fine powder. Place that into a bowl and we'll measure out what we need for each kit once we've made the other powders as well. For the fondant type mixture, what you need is icing sugar or powdered sugar and some compound white chocolate. Place them both into your blender and pulse them and blend them just like we did before. I love the look of this one, it looks so soft and fluffy. For the chocolate frosting, what we need is to blend up some icing sugar, cocoa powder and compound white chocolate. Blend those together, and of course if you want to make less kits you can halve the recipe, you don't have to make 10. Then for each kit put 2 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of cake mix powder into a bag. Then for the fondant add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of the white powder. And then for the frosting add 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of mixture into a bag. Now for each one, fold over the top several times and seal it shut with some tape, and then place your label on the front. Then add some decorations into another bag. Now you'll need some sprinkles for the top of the candles, and then you can use whatever other decorations you want to add there. Now you can print out the instructions, the labels and the box cover from the website howtocookthat.net, and as I said I'll link to that below. And I'm also using some patterned card to cover the box. The box that I have is just an Arnott's shape box if you live in Australia. Otherwise just look for a food box that you have in the pantry that's nearly empty and cover that, and then add the printout to the front. So in your kit you need to put in the 3 powders, the decorations, 2 little sheets of baking paper, 3 cupcake cases, and I found that these strong lined ones worked much better than the paper ones for getting a good shaped cake. The instructions of course, so they won't know what to do, 1/4 teaspoon measure, a little measuring cup and a mini piping bag. And to make that just trim a normal one shorter. Then place all of that into a bag and into the box and seal it up. Now I have one of these kits left and I want to know which YouTuber you think I should send it to. Who would you like to see make this mini chocolate cake? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to How to Cook That for more crazy sweet creations. Put all your requests in the comments below. Click here to go to the channel and see the other things that we've made. Click here for last week's video and here for the website to go and get that printout for your own little mini cake kit. Have a great week and I'll see you on Friday.